What were you pleased with today?
My wedge play was great. I mean, I hit three or four shots very, very close, and the way I've been putting, they were just not gimme birdies, but certainly ones you'd expect to make, and it just changes your whole complex of your round, of your score. So that was the most pleasing, and to finish with a close one on 18 and I could pick up another shot there.
Yeah, I'm trying to go ahead, Steve.
Seamus, how more confident are you now than when you were in April?
Yeah, last year, I mean, it's night and day, to be honest. I mean, golf it's one of those things you want to play with confidence, but how do you get confidence without playing well? So it's one of those things that I've been able to kind of work on off the course, and it's led to some improved results on it. But yeah, I mean, I just feel much more comfortable in these positions. I've kind of put myself there a little bit more often, so it definitely seems a little easier. But I mean, still obviously a lot of work to do over the weekend.
You played here 4 times, I think T38, T39, 2 missed cuts. Did you learn something in those 4 that has helped this week? Or?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely did. I mean, I love coming here. I've always thought I haven't really showed it, but I've always actually really enjoyed playing Spyglass and played it pretty well. So I knew if I could just kind of have my decent game, I knew I can score well there, where a lot of guys kind of drop some shots and then kind of, really try like put the pedal down on the other 2 courses. But I mean, nothing in particular. I just haven't really come here with a lot of form before, and this is the first time I've had a bit of form, and I think it goes a long way. No matter what course you're on, if you can play with confidence and kind of commit to your lines, you've got a really good chance, and I've been able to do that so far.
I counted 13 finishes of 21 or better since May. And what is it that you did find? I mean, is there one key to the...
It's a few things, honestly. Like I figured out my putting like early last year. I'd always been a good putter, and I kind of was struggling, but I changed the grip, and it's kind of solidified that for me. And then found a couple of things with my swing, and you kind of put all that together. Did a lot of work on my wedges, and it doesn't take much. I mean, it's only a shot here and a shot there. It really separates, from finishing top 20 versus 40 or 50. And I've just been able to tidy up some of those loose ends, and it's been much better.
What was the change in the grip?
I went to like a claw grip thing, which I'd never used before. It was pretty conventional, but I just hadn't putted very well. I'd missed some short putts, and I kind of, you see a lot of guys try out, so I give it a shot, and it's kind of felt good ever since. It's pretty much a year on it now, so I like it.
James, I know it worked out for you, but could you explain why you went 3-shot on the 18th hole?
Yeah, I mean, my miss, especially with driver, is always going to be to the right. And on that left or right wind, that right side gets pretty short. Like, it sets up pretty well because I haven't been missing a lot of shots left, but it's just that right miss on that left or right wind. If you get it just inside that bunker, it gets out of bounds in a hurry. And honestly, like, having the confidence I had in my wedges, I knew if I could get myself around 100 yards in the fairway, I was going to have something inside 10 feet for birdie, which is probably all you're looking at anyway if you hit driver. So that was kind of my thought process on the tee.
What'd you hit on 12?
12.
Par 3?
6 iron. Yeah, I think it just cleared the bunker. Was probably lucky.
All right. 17. Can we go through that?
Yeah, that was one of the disappointing ones. Yeah, I was right in between clubs, and then I just didn't kind of commit to it. I was kind of convincing myself that I had too much club, and I just kind of quit on the way down. It's one of the things I got to work on, just kind of be a little bit more committed. Poor shot, but it was not able to get away with kind of a good 4 in the end, which is obviously disappointing on a short par 3. But yeah, it was just kind of a poor mental mistake I kind of had there.
Okay. And this is not a remote question, but Greg Allen from RTE sends me a note that this is your 7th round of 65 or better in the 14 rounds you played in 2022.
All right.
What's been the difference? You didn't say that part, I did.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the biggest thing is, I mean, the way to shoot scores is to hit it close to the hole and make putts. And my wedges have been much, much better, and my putting's improved. So when I hit it on the fairway and I've got a wedge in my hand, I feel like I've got a very good chance. And then I've always been long enough to take advantage of the par 5s, and you kind of put those two together, and you make plenty of birdies.
Did you? And I'm sure you've been asked this before, but when you win, what kind of a spark does that give you?
Yeah, I mean that's
between the years.
It's massive. The thing for me. And that's been a part of it, which is it's hard to explain. But the last couple of years, I was in that 26 to 50 category, struggling to get starts. I might have a start, even like you could have a month between starts, and it's just tough to get momentum going. It's tough to get that confidence that you need. And so that win got me in pretty much all the tournaments, and I've been able to pick and choose and play when I want. Like I played 3, had last week off, and was really able to prepare then for this week. I've played here before. I know what to expect. I know what my game needs to play here. So it just gives you that added advantage, if you will, of knowing when you're going to play and what courses you're going to play.
We are halfway through here, which is a long way to go, and we're 2 months away from the Masters, which is a long way away. But does it cross your mind at all, given the chances you've given yourself?
It's people have asked me about it, but it's one of those things that you'd love to be there. I mean, everyone grows up wanting to be in the Masters, but I know that if I play well and do what I'm meant to do, I'll get there. If not this year, certainly, in the future. So that's kind of been my mentality. Again, obviously, when people ask you about it, you're not going to like it. It's a dream for every golfer to play at Augusta, and it's something that if I get there, I'd absolutely enjoy. But for now, I keep doing what I'm doing and keep enjoying my golf.
They just want tickets, don't they?
Yeah, I would say that'd be a big part of it.
Are you aware that you have the 36-hole record aggregate?
I just found out a couple of minutes ago. Yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah, so that's kind of a nice thing to.
And I think the record is 5 shots for 36 holes. So I mean,
5-shot lead. Yeah.
A 5 shot, if that should hold up. I mean, what do those numbers say to you about where you are?
Yeah, I mean it's a nice thing to have, but I mean, does anyone know who had the 5-shot lead? And people are only going to remember who won. So it's a great start for the tournament, but it's only halfway. And it's a long ways to go, and there's a lot of good players in the field that I'm sure are going to make a lot of birdies over the weekend. So I'm going to have to keep going, and then see what happens on Sunday.
And one last, you did something today that not many people do. You birdied 9, 10, 11, and 12. I mean, that's one hell of a stretch, plus birdied 6 and 7.
Yeah.
What's it like to do that, 9, 10, 11, and 12?
Yeah, I mean, that's fantastic. I said it was a strange start. I birdied the second, and I had a big horseshoe lip out on 3 and somehow missed on 4 and then 3-putted 5. I felt like I played better, but it was only even par. But then obviously it came, I made a nice wedge and putt on 6, and again, I made some very nice putts there on 7. It good drive on 9, got it down the hill. But yeah, I mean, that's not always the stretch you're thinking you're going to get. But sometimes you're just on and you just kind of got to roll with it.
Why did you hit wedge on 6th? Were you out of position at all?
Yes. I went with the strategy that I'm just going to hammer it left to the bunkers and actually roll down into a poor lie. So I was still able to get up to a wedge area and then wedge it to maybe 12 feet and knocked it in.
Is that a smart play? I mean, I remember a couple of years ago it was pretty bare over there.
It's not bad. I thought it would get down to the path and then it's a good play. It's one of those interesting ones. If you get a decent lie over there, the angle is great and it's a much easier shot. It didn't work out. I mean, I made a birdie, but it didn't work out the way I was planning it on. But it depends on your miss. Again, my miss at the moment, especially with the driver, is just miss a little bit to the right. So it gives me a little more peace of mind just to stand up and rip it left, knowing that you've got some room. So we'll see. That's what Simon and I came up with that strategy. So we're going to go with it again Sunday and see what happens.
What did you hit on 10?
I drive her on 10, yeah. And a gap wedge to maybe 20 feet or something.
And I'm curious, when you left, where was it in Tennessee? I'm sorry.
East Tennessee State,
East Tennessee
Johnson
State.
City.
Okay.
Yeah.
From there, was there a couple of years before you got to the Corn Ferry?
There was. I played the e-golf tour for 4 years,
The
11 through 14, and then got through qualifying school in December of 14. I played Corn Ferry 15, 16, or whatever was.
Never went home.
No, I went home after college and kind of got my visa sorted to come back. For me, I wasn't going to have a lot of opportunities in Europe. I wasn't my amateur career wasn't good enough to get Challenge Tour starts or European Tour starts. So I was going to have to figure out a way of kind of trying to pay my own way. And the e-golf tour at the time was fantastic. A lot of guys I see out here, I played against in those years. So
when you're going well now and you've got to win on tour and all that good stuff, how satisfying is it to think about the dues you paid to get to where you are?
Yeah, I mean that's certainly part of it. I mean, I've always loved playing golf. I've fond memories of playing those tours. Obviously, it's not where you want to be, but I mean, anytime you get to play golf for a living, you're in a pretty good spot. So it's obviously satisfying. But I mean, no matter, there's guys have gotten here a lot of different ways, and it doesn't matter once you're here. It's because how's your game going to hold up, and that's kind of the fun part is trying to improve and just see where you can kind of put yourself.
Favorite memory from e-golf?
I won a tournament in 2012 early in the year, and it was massive for me because I hadn't had a lot of success in 11, and so in 12 it really got me kick-started for the year. I mean, I won $15,000 at River Run. It felt like I just won the lotto. So it was incredible. It was tough. I learned a lot in those stretches, and so it's
What kind of car were you driving?
Toyota Camry. Yeah.
You don't still have it, do you?
No, not anymore. It's a good car, though.
Seamus, huge birdie on 18,
Thank
bounced
you.
back after the bogey on 17. What does that do for you going into the weekend, finishing with some momentum?
Yeah, it does make a difference. Golf is funny because there's a lot of, even if you finish par, the way I did is probably a little bit better. Lunch just tastes a little bit better. It's one of those funny things, isn't it? Like the 18th hole. It's nice, especially it's a disappointing play on 17. But yeah, I mean, it's huge. I said it makes practice a little bit easier now. Lunch tastes a little better and probably sleep a little better.
Awesome. Last thing for me, your fellow Irish golfer Leona Maguire leading the LPGA event. What does it say about the state of Irish golf? You're here, she's there, everyone's playing well.
Yeah, I mean, it's fantastic. I mean, Leona had a great year last year. I mean, like incredible performance in the Solheim Cup, and she's been fun to follow. I met Leona really for the first time properly in the Olympics in 2016, and it's been like fantastic following her progress. I mean, she came out last year and she's up in contention. She almost won. I mean, yeah, it's not going to surprise me if she wins this weekend. So it's great. It's great for Irish golf. It's great for Irish women's golf, and hopefully she can keep it up.
Awesome.
Last thing, since you played Kapalua and a couple other events, can you ever remember a better stretch of scoring weather than the stretch we're in right now?
Probably not. Yeah, I mean, obviously Kapalua, the scoring was good this year, which helped. But yeah, I mean, good scores in Sony. Obviously, disappointing last round in Palm Springs, but like a couple of good rounds here. And yeah, it's just one of those stretches you have in golf when the confidence is good and the game is in good shape. So you see if we can keep it going as long as I can.
Yeah, people keep wondering why we get low scores, but I think the weather has
Oh, I mean, the weather
a
is.
lot to do with it.
Yeah, I mean, the wind didn't blow. It was bizarre, and Kapalua didn't blow in Sony, and hasn't blown here for 2 days. And obviously, it rarely blows in Palm Springs. And everyone is good enough that it's just you can't tuck pins enough. If you have the players out here on a fairway from 130, 40, 50 yards, you can't hide the pin, you know. So it's the standard of golf is high and the conditions are perfect. This is what happens.
Good job. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Thanks,
Thanks,
James.
guys. Appreciate it.